Though tonight's event is not a Trans Day of Remembrance event, it is in honor of Trans Day of Remembrance. Transphobia is rooted in anti-Blackness and colonialism. TDOR began as a memorial to 2 Black trans women who lost their lives to racist anti-trans violence. Transphobia is a tool of the racist colonial capitalist system. It aims to erase all identities that are two-spirit, trans plus, non-binary, and feminine. I'd just like to take up some space to talk about the 231 calls for justice. Some of you may know Michelle Robinson from other CWP concerts or from her podcast, Native Calgarian. Michelle has repeatedly encouraged the settler queer community to read and act on the 231 calls for justice. And Sallie, if you could hold that program up again. If you scan the QR code, the first link is actually to the 231 calls for justice. So this is my copy. The 231 calls for justice outline the necessary steps to end one of the worst and ongoing genocides in Canadian history that are being committed against Indigenous women, girls, and two-spirit people. They are responses to the truths shared by family members of victims, survivors of violence, experts, elders, and knowledge keepers during cross-country public hearings. Calls 18.1 to 18.32 are 2S LGBTQIA plus specific calls for justice and include government, service providers, institutions, healthcare, housing, and law enforcement. The guiding principles include self-determined and culturally specific solutions for queer people, respect for human rights, and prevention in relation to violence and child welfare. These calls are inclusive of the entire community and show how interconnected we are. I'd like to quote the introduction of the 231 calls for justice, in which we are encouraged to read, share, act upon, and to join the movement to implement the calls for justice now. The genocide must stop, and only through actions taken in response to these calls for justice will the genocide finally come to an end. So we can't fight for trans rights without first working towards dismantling white supremacy, demanding land back, and practicing anti-colonization in the spaces we inhabit. And I'd just like to take a moment now to talk about listening spaces and listening positionality, since this is a music concert. In working towards anti-colonization, I think the word settler should be placed in front of the word listening much of the time. Let's consider what our listening habits and biases are when we settler listen to music. What role does race, gender, ability, class, and sexuality play in our listening habits? How does our society uphold systems of white supremacy through listening, positionality? I want to ask you, what does an approaching police siren sound like to you? Rescue or invasion? Safety or potential violence? These are questions I reflected on and learned about in the book Hungry Listening, Resonant Theory for Indigenous Sound Studies, which is a critical response to the whiteness of sound studies, I'm nervous, by Dylan Robinson, a Stalo writer, Canada Research Chair for Indigenous Arts, and a professor at Queen's University. So for those of us who are settlers, particularly those of us who are white, settler listening positionality involves what is called the tin ear. That is listening that is characterized by consumption, a constant hunger for more information, and a drive to accumulate knowledge and to listen only with the mind. But our settler listening positionality is ingrained in us, in a society that upholds, fosters, and rewards white supremacy and thrives on the tin ear. Settler listening positionality prioritizes perfection and excellence, perfect tuning and improvement. We listen to satiate our settler hunger and desire for consumption, but the terms of that listening are colonial. We don't teach alertness to new possibilities, and we don't teach practices of freedom. And I'm just going to end my land acknowledgement with this quote from Hungry Listening. Moving towards anti-colonial listening practices requires the fever pace of consumption knowledge resources to be put aside, disorientated from settler colonial positions of certainty. Decolonizing music practice involves becoming no longer sure what music is. Listening is not passive. To listen is to pay attention, and to pay attention is to be poised to act, listening as activism. And so now it's my true honor to introduce you to Elder Cheryle Chagnon Greyeyes, I'm going to first tell you a little bit about Cheryl and then invite her to the stage. So Cheryle Chagnon Greyeyes is a proud Nehio Esqueo Cree woman, a member of Muskeg Cree Nation, Saskatchewan Treaty 6, and Métis. Her ceremonially gifted Cree name translates to Healing Woman Who Walks Far. She has resided in Calgary Treaty 7, Alberta since 1993. Cheryl earned a BA in Communications and a BA in Canadian Native Studies from the University of Calgary and a diploma in Advertising and Public Relations from Grant MacEwan University, Edmonton. Cheryl received the rank of Corporal in the Canadian Air Force, receiving an honorable discharge after 5 years service. Cheryl has been an Indigenous activist within Calgary and area for the past 2 decades, speaking, marching, singing, and drumming for women, missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls to spirit, sisters in spirit, justice for Jackie Crazy Bowl, Indigenous justice, championing the environment and equality, and speaking up for those who cannot. Cheryl retired as administrative coordinator at the Native Center of the University of Calgary. She was a former leader of the Green Party of Alberta from 2018 to 2019, and a Kairos blanket exercise facilitator. And does anybody know what a Kairos blanket exercise facilitator is? I had to look it up. So I'd like to share that. I'm sure some of you know, but I didn't. So the Kairos blanket exercise is an experiential teaching tool that explores the historic and contemporary relationship between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples in the land we now know as Canada. Responding to the 1996 report of the Royal Commission on Aboriginal Peoples, the Aboriginal Rights Coalition worked with Indigenous elders and educators in 1996 to develop an interactive way to learn the history that most Canadians are never taught. So, Cheryl received an IAAW Esqueo Award for Justice and Human Rights in May 2023. Recognized as a traditional knowledge keeper, Cree elder, and pipe carrier, Cheryl provides service sharing Indigenous protocol, territorial acknowledgements, medicine wheel teachings, Indigenous cultural teachings and stories, prayers and ceremony upon request. She's a member of the Storytellers of Canada and Storytelling Alberta as an Indigenous storyteller and performer. Cheryl is a mother of 2 and Kokum, her grandmother, to 5 beautiful grandchildren. So let's welcome Elder Cheryle Chagnon Greyeyes to the stage.
Thank you so much, jacqs. You may have noticed that she gave me a little present when I came up here. This is tobacco. And in the Indigenous culture, Indigenous ways of knowing, when you give tobacco, it is from your heart to my heart to Creator. And it creates a sacred covenant, a blessed promise. It shows that you come with good intent and in the right way. It is a commitment, and it is a commitment that will last to the other side. So this gift of tobacco is a commitment that's longer lasting than a mortgage. Just so you got that straight. Thank you. And I take it in a good way. In my way, when we open up events, we share a prayer and or song. And I am blessed and honored to be able to share a prayer song with you. Can you say Miyasin? Miyasin. Miyasin. Miyasin means beautiful in Cree. And when I sing this song, it honors your beautiful spirits that you've brought here to share today. It also invites spirit to join us in this sharing, this coming together, this gathering in a good way. Miyasin, the song, was written by Joseph Nato Howe of Sturgeon Lake Cree Nation, Treaty 6, Saskatchewan. Probably a cousin. We tend to be related in Saskatchewan, is the thing. And I always honor where my songs come from. Normally, when I sing my songs, I sing them in rounds of 4 to honor the teachings of the medicine wheel, much like the ribbons on my skirt honor the teachings of the medicine wheel. Those 4 colors of white, yellow, red, and black. And it is about that sense of balance and moderation that is taught with the medicine wheel. This song, however, I sing in 3 rounds with purpose and intent to include each and every one of you and your beautiful spirits that you've brought here to share today. It also opens and invites spirit to join us in this gathering. This is Mia Sin, the Cree Welcome Song. Mia Sin, Mia San, Asemina, Asemina, Epeta Kote, Niwago Magan, Ota, Oma, Hitaskino, Miyasen, Miyasan, Asemina, Asemina, Epeta Kote, Niwago Magan, Ota, Oma, Hitaskino, Miyasen, Miyasan, Asemina, Asemina, Epeta Kote, Niwago Magan, Ota, Oma, Hitaskino. Welcome to each and every one of you and the beautiful spirits that you've brought here to share tonight. Thank you, Jeff. You can clap now. I'm pinch hitting for my daughter Chantal Chagnon. She was not able to make it this evening, and unfortunately it was a family requirement. Earlier this month, she adopted 2 girls who are now both 17, Chloe and Ariel. They're in grade 12. And earlier this month, they lost their birth father. He died of a head injury. And so they were at a funeral last weekend. Last week, their birth mother passed away. She died of an overdose. So they have another funeral to go to this weekend. And both of the funerals were up in northern Alberta. The first one at Saddle Lake, where the girls are from, and the second one at St. Paul, where their girl's mother was from. And we found out after my daughter had adopted them, she'd been doing kinship care with these beautiful girls, and the social worker had said if you don't take them, they're going to be split up in the social services system, because they had been in the system since they were 1.5 years old because of their mother's addiction. They had lost their eldest sister, Katie, last year to an overdose. So these girls have had more suffering in their short time here than a lot of people. I am blessed because my daughter didn't blink, and she took those girls in. And then we find out later on through a little discussion with my mom that they're actually related to us. Yeah, my mother's grandmother, her maiden name was Crane, and that's a girl's last name. So, hey, thank you, Creator. Good job. Creator really does a good job. I wish to honor my daughter's spirit. My daughter is a two-spirited, beautiful, beautiful woman, and a good mother, and a wonderful role model, and very much a bridge between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples. And I am blessed to be able to share that journey with her in a good way. I wish to honor her spirit and the spirit of those girls and all those, both Indigenous and our non-Indigenous allies. We need you all. We need us all. With a special song. This song is known as a Thunderbird song, and it honors that Thunderbird spirit that is within each and every one of us. Put your hand on your belly button. Okay, this is where spirit resides. This is where intuition talks to us in that quiet little voice. This is where gut instinct hails from. And you know the difference between your quiet little spirit voice and your obnoxious monkey brain. Because the obnoxious monkey brain is loud and tells stories and lies. So your brain is a good part, but it's a tool. Your heart means well, but it can be fooled by others. Your body is always having good intentions. By the way, the great brownies, love it. But your spirit will never guide you wrong. Always listen to your spirit. And if you listen to that first question when you went, okay, spirit, hey, creator, which way should I go? And you go with that first instinct, that's listening to your Thunderbird. That's listening to your spirit. That is having faith in your own spirit to lead you to what is good and right. So this is the Thunderbird song, and it honors the Thunderbird within each and every one of us. Hey. Drumstick. Okay, if you spank it on your knee, there's your drum. Okay, let me hear your drums. There we go. We'll use you for the last two verses, okay? Ready to rock and drum? Thunderbird. Way to rock and drum. I love it. Thank you so much. Hey, hi.
Thank you. It is marking my third time playing a recorder and asking and hoping that CWP will allow me to join their collective with my numerous musical skills, gifts, and talents. I haven't heard back from them yet. They allowed me to say a few words in the microphone, which I appreciate. Give it up to me. So, who has a little paper? Who has a little? Everyone has a little paper of this event. What is this event called?
And dyslexic.
Shy and dyslexic. I could never be any of those. So this event is called Transformatie, which is, do you know what it is? It is a newsletter literature that originates from Amsterdam in 1993 to 1999, which was a way for trans and queer people to communicate with each other without internet. And I thought to myself, and I know some of the transsexual and transgender diverse people. I know a few good ones, and I'm a trans woman. I can make those jokes. And I have plentiful of friends, and I have myself to ask also, how does communication within our community works? What do we get from each other? What do we get from the internet? How do we know each other? And I thought, I learned many things about gender and many things about being trans through the internet. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. Also, music has been a huge part of my gender exploration when I was dancing and absolutely blasting every body part I have to French songs by Edith Piaf when I was 5 and I was doing concerts to no one. I didn't even have a mirror in my room. I was just dancing and being like, oh yeah, this is so fun. And I found that right now, a lot of us, we're struggling. We're not having a good time. We're having a time. What kind of time it is? Not a good one. I just said so. And I want to point our direction of this evening towards relaxation and enjoyment. Being present in the moment where we're at Congress Coffee, which has a very meaningful history for me and for Danny Fenton, my partner. And I just want everyone to enjoy nice drinks, look at old people doing different things, which is very fascinating. Listen to the sounds, connect them together, which makes music. Just take a deep breath and be here. Be here. Say hello to people in intermission. Be like, hello, what is your name? How are you doing? Just be there for each other. I think this is very important, and the transformative power of music, transformative power of space, power of connection is something that I want us to focus on tonight. And I'm also going to say a few jokes later. So I want to welcome to the stage the CWP, Calgary Without Patriarchy Collective. I'm just going to say their names, so if you see that someone is slacking, you can find them on Instagram and message them and be like, wow, I've seen that. Well, first of all, we have SallieMae. SallieMae, amazing, doing the, what is it called? Voice. Then we have Nia on the percussion. Just make sure your hands are warm and ready. We have Shari on the bass. I always forget how to say bass because in Russian it's bass. Then we have Shane with the saxophones too. The difference between those two saxophones is that one is small and another one is big, as I've learned. And then we have jacqs standing here and making sure that everything runs smoothly. And a star, gorgeous, amazing, stunning, Joanna Borromeo on the piano, who actually composed this piece. And it is called Save My Soul. It is about mental health and mental health challenges and struggles. It comes from her first album, Through the Dark. And I just want you to, again, remember, you're present, you're listening to sounds. Think about some things. Think about some things. Listen to some things. And I'm pretty sure you will have a good time with Save My Soul, composed by Joanna Borromeo. music. So we have three more musics for you. We have three more musics for you. And I want to welcome everyone back.
No.
Well, yes, because you'll be playing music, not me. And you might see new faces that I'll tell you about, because you must be wondering, who are those new people that I'm seeing? Unless you know them already. I'm looking at that table. So I want to get lost. I want to introduce Bella DeSouza Cook, playing alto sax. And do not confuse alto sax with Shane saxes, the big and small one. I believe this one must be in between, in medium sax. And I want to introduce Rae Rubin Hamilton. They're 10 years old, and they have been singing and performing across Calgary for less than 10 years. And I've heard that they've been very successful, because I've heard the rehearsals. And they are going to be making music for you to listen and enjoy that is called For Nothing Is Fixed. And there is a yellow big paper on some tables and available at the front about James Baldwin. James Baldwin is a journalist and a writer, essayist, and one of the most important and significant voices of civil rights movement. And I believe the song is featuring his speech. And he offers a very unique perspective that is very important to listen to as a Black queer activist in the civil rights movement. So yes, For Nothing Is Fixed, enjoy this one.
they have, we are responsible to them. Forever, 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 for nothing is fixed. Forever, 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 it is not fixed. The sea rises, the light fails, lovers cling to each other and children cling to us. Moments we cease to hold each other, the sea engulfs us and the light goes on.
The earth is always shifting, the light is always changing, the sea does not cease to grind rock.
The earth is always shifting, the light is always changing, the sea does not cease to grind rock. Forever, 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 for nothing is fixed. Forever, 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 it is not fixed. Forever, 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 for nothing is fixed. Forever, 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 it is not fixed. Forever, 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 nothing is fixed.
I really don't like words like honest or integrity or courage or nobility. I have a kind of distrust of all those words because I don't really know what those words mean. Any more than I really know what such words as democracy or peace loving or warlike or integration mean. All of these words are reality. Behind these words depend ultimately on what the human being, meaning every single one of us, believe to be real. The terrible thing is that all these words, the reality behind them, depend on choices one has got to make forever and ever and ever, every day.
we will hear from the musicians playing their instruments.
You want to change the system, then you're a danger to those in control of the system. We are all puppets on a puppet stage. Who is pulling the strings? So we all have a story in our head. For me, that story, that myth, pulls the strings. We want a pretty garden, and we have a story about how that garden should look. And so weeds arise, and we pull them out and kill them, because we want it to be fit our story. Once you believe in a story, then what you're doing is okay. It fits the story. And if you don't believe in the story, it's not okay. And then you have your own story, and you're doomed to that. So, puppets on a puppet stage, all pulled by the story, by the myth. working with the aspects of society that society is not willing to work with or to even acknowledge. And the more you have of those experiences, the deeper and broader they are, the more natural it is to be taking care of one's life.
And that's also music. You come to the concert where they play music. I was told that my light is here. You come to concerts where they play musics and you expect something else. How are we doing? Yeah. I'm getting sleepy. Woke up very early this morning. And I'm taking care of myself today. And trying to remind myself of things that are important to me. It is important to me to do my job and to host things and to talk in the microphone confidently. It is important for me to say hello to people and smile at them and make them giggle a little bit. And it is important for me to be listening to my friends and people who I care about, my people who are important to me. And on that note, that's it. No more music. Well, okay. Maybe one more. For the last musics of the night, we, and I mean they, will do I Take All the Blame. I Take All the Blame, but by Vivek Shraya. It is a Canadian artist, visual artist and musician. And she is on Tegan and Sarah, in Tegan and Sarah Foundation for more queer representation in music. A cover. Oh, lovely song. And we want to end on this musics, then I'm going to go sit, and then they're going to play, and then I'm going to take the microphone back, say that is also music, say a few words, and then everyone's going to go home. Enjoy that.
Nick, I just needed a mic at one point for this song. I forgot it.
I have a mic.
Yeah, if you grab it. Yeah, that works. Thanks.
Just be careful.
Can I just set it down? Okay, I'll set it. I forgot. Are you ready?
Press to my knees, give them hope and new joints. Bend and lean on me when you feel that strange dream fill my back with cold night air through my lungs. Limping on two legs again. Don't you think that I've been giving up? Don't you think that I'll take the blame. I'll take the blame.
invite you now to be here with me. Open your heart, open your mind. We're all here right now, holding this space together. If you feel safe and have capacity, acknowledge your body and the sensations of your body. Let your attention flow down to the earth. She is loving us and accepting us. Let the earth hold you. Bring attention to your heart center. Reflect on something you are grateful for. Let that gratitude spark as an energy, like a flame in the heart center. Share this gratitude with the earth. And thank her for holding you. I dedicate this practice to the liberation of the earth, to the work of liberating all of us.
Great, great.